Hold on one second, y'all. Oops. All right. Did not have my mic plugged in. That's what happened. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected and home of the Death Star microphone. Check one. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I have anybody who was watching the music presentation last night, was the video freezing while I was doing it? Or is that something that's after the fact? Is that a YouTube thing? I don't know. It looked like it was fine while I was doing the show. It was freezing, Malcolm? Yes? Yeah, it looked like on my end, it looked okay. It was very low frame rate. Wow. I wonder if that was, that must be StreamYard. Maybe. Yeah, I went back and just checked out the video this morning, and it looked, I was like, what is going on there? Audio was fine, though. Victory Jen just reposted the stream on X. Thanks, Victory Jen. Appreciate you. I am still using Brave, but I think it might be more of a StreamYard thing, or maybe just YouTube being jerky. Could be. I don't know. Is my stream freezing now when I do, I know later in the show, but so I can usually see when the stream is freezing or when it's not doing so well. But is it freezing and stuttering and dropping frames and while I'm doing it now? got pretty lagged. Yeah, I don't know. That it sounds. You know what it might be? Stream is not freezing now. You know what I bet it was? I think I know what it was. And it was my fault, my bad. I just now realized what the problem was. I probably had my VPN on last night when I was doing it, and that will definitely lag up the stream. I've been using like a new VPN that's pretty good, pretty cool. No, actually, my computer is not overworked. I got a refurbished computer, so my computer is actually working very well right now. It's called vp.net. It's pretty good. However, you know, if you have it on like all day, I can do the stream, this stream with the VPN on, and it doesn't. It probably doesn't help the frame rate, but it never cuts into my stream, which is pretty great. It's not advisable to use the VPN when you're doing a stream. So I often have it on because I forget to turn it off, and that's probably what happened last night when I did the show, is I forgot to turn it off. But I bet my VPN was on Instagram, and Instagram looked great. Instagram was fine. So I don't know. Yeah, the vp.net is like $10 a month or something if you do monthly. It's pretty good. I like it. But every once in a while it freezes the whole, you know, operation up. So okay. But thanks for watching the show yesterday. Those who tuned in, I appreciate it. Some folks came through, and thank you. Yeah, I think YouTube is also a likely suspect, because YouTube it does not like me. Period. Any of my channels. In fact, well, all social media does not like me. All of my channels do not like me. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. They know that I'm bound to say something that is offensive to the powers that be, you know, on occasion, or maybe every day, right? And they know. So it doesn't matter what social media platform it is. It doesn't matter what channel. It doesn't matter where I'm at. They squash the ever living shit out of me. They will not let me get a lot of traction. So that was my first suspicion, was that YouTube was being YouTube. It's too real. Yes, keeping it too real. Well, listen, things are going to get, you know, things are getting more real every day. And people, you're not really going to be able to help but keep it real, because reality is going to take you by the shoulders and go, are we getting real yet? They don't like my tenor or my baritone, if that's where you're going with that. All right. So this is happening in Mexico. People getting slapped around. One more time. This isn't Jalisco. Man. people are getting just wrecked. This is in Philippines. Every single day, several places on the planet are getting wrecked. I wonder what's going on. I don't know, Delene. Where is it all coming from? There is major flooding taking place in Alamance County, North Carolina. This is from yesterday. Holy shnikes. Yeah. It might be the climate change thing. It might be. I don't know. I'm not sure. Many of the Cold War's most absurd and dangerous nuclear policies remain unchanged in the United States. The president can order a launch of nuclear weapons without consulting anyone. Yeah. Oh, here you go. Here's something there. But here's something here. And here's something here. And we'll put this guy's on the screen. Will we hear a call for lockdowns due to bad weather at some point? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. It's funny because they don't seem to care about people catching, fire. So, right? or people, getting caught in a flood. They don't seem to care about that. But they sure do care about, people getting a virus. I mean, they're doing a pretty good job of keeping people indoors. ICE is doing a good job of that in Los Angeles. There is a lot less traffic on the road, at least mostly. Because a lot of people are like, hell no, I'm not going out there. And rightly so, right? If you look in any way Latino, like, you are taking a chance just going outdoors, it seems like. And at least in California, Los Angeles, and pretty much everywhere else, you'd hope that they have some kind of intelligence on like who they're targeting, even if you disagree with the targeting. You'd hope that they'd have some kind of like detailed information, but it appears that they don't. And we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about why people are indiscriminately being swept up. One of the big reasons. And it's all about that dollar bill, y'all. From Jim Baird, researchers have demonstrated for the first time that micro and nanoplastics can trigger malignant changes in lung cells that are associated with the development of cancer. No. Findings once again underline the urgent need for action to reduce plastic waste. Are we going to lock everybody down until we clean up the plastic problem? I know it sounds ridiculous. Hold on, everybody, stay indoors. We've got plastics outside. I mean, but that would be an adequate response. Everyone stay indoors. We have nuclear power plants running at the moment. That would be the appropriate stay indoors until we shut these things down immediately. That would be the appropriate response. But no, we're not going to see any of that. We're on YouTube. We got people watching on X. That's cool. What's up? How you doing, people of X? People on Planet X and YouTube. And if you want to watch on Telegram in the privacy of the Black Bear News chat, you can watch on Telegram, where you'll be pretty much unbothered. Mostly unbothered. All right. Do you want to look at this? It's a study. I mean, the headline pretty much says it all. What I read pretty much says it all. I don't know how much more information we can gather about this. But microplastics are everywhere, and they're in your hair and everywhere, like the bugaboos. This is a weird story. I saw this story yesterday, and this is a weird story. We're switching gears, and we're going to cover a bunch of things. Did anybody see this? Obviously, there's 10,000 news stories out there to look at. But this is weird. This story caught my eye because I was like, something about this doesn't make any sense, but sure. Thousands of Afghans have been brought to Britain in secrecy after a data leak. They just transferred like a bunch of Afghanis to Britain because some intel was leaked. I guess, maybe it makes sense on an operational kind of thing, but like it's weird. It just doesn't sound really, really, you guys care about Afghani people so much, you got to just bring them over to England. Where was the care and the concern for Afghanis and their well-being during 20 years of bloodshed and pummeling and occupation? But now, after everybody's vacated, and there was a data leak, which also is, how can you just say, oh, we had a data leak? Who's confirming that? How can you confirm that? And then we're just bringing a bunch of Afghanis over to, like, really? Now you're concerned about people's welfare? That it doesn't add up. It just doesn't make any sense, especially coming from people that generally have a pretty marked disregard for the well-being of brown people in third world countries. Like, they could give a toss about Afghanis, but oh no, the Taliban might get them, so we got to help them out. All right, okay, sure. I guess. Thousands of Afghans, including many who worked with British forces, have been secretly resettled in the UK after a leak of data on their identities raised fears that the Taliban could target them, the British government revealed Tuesday. The government said it is closing the program, which a rare court order had barred the media from disclosing. Disclosing or close? I don't know. I think that's a typo. To all those whose information was compromised, I offer a sincere apology today, Defense Secretary John Healey said in the House of Commons. He said he regretted the secrecy and have felt deeply concerned about the lack of transparency to the Parliament and the public. Man, these guys are just so apologetic and so concerned about, none of this adds up, right? People apologizing in the House of Commons, people saying, I'm sorry, we messed up. Like, When's the last time you heard a public official say, like, publicly say, like, my bad, I'm sorry, I really messed this one up? What is going on? Yeah, yeah. Trump and USAID were still providing billions to the Taliban just months ago. Like, this doesn't. Nothing about this makes sense. This is something else is going on. This is some kind of op. Like, definitely, definitely, this smells like an op to me. But okay. Did anybody see this and have questions? Healy told lawmakers that a spreadsheet containing the personal information of nearly 19,000 people who had applied to come to Britain after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan was accidentally released in 2022 because of a defense official's email error. Okay. The government only became aware of the leak when some of the data was published on Facebook 18 months later. Okay. That makes it even weirder. Oh, look at this. It's on Facebook. You have a look at this. Hey, come here. Nigel. Come here. This is weird. It's on Facebook. Is it? Oh, it's real. What? Okay. And listen to this again with the money laundering thing too. 4,500 Afghans, 900 applicants, and 3,600 family members have been brought to Britain under the program, and about 6,900 people are expected to be relocated by the time it closes, at a cost of $1 billion. $1 billion to relocate like 7,000 people. It costs $1 billion. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It does not. It doesn't. There's no way. You show me the math on that, and I'm going to say you're lying. Like, no, it does not cost $1 billion. No, I don't believe you. So there's something is going on with this. There's some money laundering going on. There's some kind of operation going on. This is some kind of, all of this like stinks. All of this stinks. This is a weird, weird story. I just wanted to bring this up because I don't believe anything about this story. $1 billion to relocate 7,000 people. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. Nope. I just no. No. Anyways, mind-boggling. Okay, we're going to move on. I bring this up because we're going to hear something about this in the future. This is a weird story, and something about this is going to come back around in the future. I guarantee it. 3, 6, or 9 months from now, we're going to hear about something about this story has another wrinkle to it, and people are going to go, oh. That's what I know. Peace in pocket. I was trying to do the math. 150K per person. Yeah, it was like 100K per person. How much is that? Maybe. So what is that? That's flying everybody here and putting them up for several, years, I guess. I don't know. I guess. Does that sound like correct math? Do you think that's probably what they're spending per person to relocate them? I mean, you're talking about people and their family members, right? But you're giving 150K to every person. Golly, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But does every person in the house, like, right, is every person living in their separate house? Like 150K, maybe 200K might cover a whole family somewhere for a year or two. You don't need to give every single something about that is not right. Nah. I do not believe it. Well, here's more strange math. Not I mean, I guess it does it's yeah, it was $1.1 billion total. I mean, it's awful not it's awful generous. But it's awful generous. It seems like a lot of money. And how much you have to think like the people, how much money is being paid to the people that are overseeing that entire project? Like, I don't think every person is getting 100 grand or 150 grand. There's right. Oh, the overhead, the logistical costs of doing all this is like probably the people getting paid to transfer these people over are taking a lion's share of that money. My guess. Okay, so the economy is not great. People are really struggling. I kind of see that. I see it and I hear it like everywhere, all over the internet. I hear people talking about struggling and inflation is crazy and house prices are crazy and rent is crazy and the economy is not doing great. And there's red flashing warning signs coming from, all kinds of financial institutions and balance sheets. So all the signs are not good for the economy. But in the middle of this is what ICE and the government is paying people to work in their Gestapo concentration camp, doing their evil bidding, basically. Like, they're paying people a lot of money. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago with ICE agents being a majority, like a lot of them being bounty hunters and getting paid, $1,000 a person that they brought into a detention center. Which, no wonder, $1,000 if you could get a couple of people a day, like, I'm sure that would incentivize a lot of people to not have any morals around this. Again, you got to be a certain kind of messed up to not think about what you're doing and just, I just need the money. I don't care. I don't care that eventually I might be one of the people that's getting rounded up if I assist in this operation. I don't care that the lack of, due process and civil liberties might come back to haunt me someday. I'm just doing what I'm told and I'm making money. I'm just feeding my family. That's it. Ugh. Details about ICE agents and Alligator Alcatraz. They are getting $60,000 sign-on bonus. So if you just say, hey, yeah, you show up and you want to do the job, count me in, 60 grand. There's a lot of people out there that would be like, okay, sure. Some jobs at Alligator Alcatraz pay $6,300 a week. Again, a lot of people out there might be like, well, I can make $25K in a month. If I work a couple months there, I might just be able to get in and get out. I'm just saying they're incentivizing evil and people contributing to the demise of their country and their constitutional rights and their rights in general. Because if you're helping in this, you're helping to pretty much destroy everything that people think is true and correct and right about this country. $40K a year bonus over 4 years. $40,000 over 4 years. A question I have about this is this $40K a year over 4 years, or is this $40K spread out over 4 years? I don't know. Either way, it's a lot of money. They're getting a $1,500 bonus per person arrested, whether they have cause for detainment or not. So this is what the bounty hunters are supposedly getting. Over half the detainees have not been deported. Why? Because Homan, who is this guy, Tom Homan, Homan and others are tied to for-profit prison industry. Ron DeSantis has ties to the same Geo Group, which is a for-profit prison. They get government grants for this. Hello, Doge. Beds not filled equals no payday. That's why they change the focus from convicted criminals to anyone. It's all self-enrichment on the backs of those who work like dogs at jobs no white person wants, whereas the Oversight Committee, prior to leading Trump's mass deportation push, this is the border czar. Homan collected consulting fees from the Geo Group, one of the companies that run a majority of the country's immigrant detention centers, according to federal ethics filing obtained by the Post. Wow. Wow. Again, we're taking this at face value, but I have seen somebody else sent me something about they're getting paid $60 an hour to work at Alligator Alcatraz. So. Depending on how long you work, it's, $500 a day. But $6,300 a week is a lot more than that. A lot more than $60 an hour. But elsewhere I saw $60 an hour, so I'm not sure what the real. I'm going to say, I'm reading this as yet to be confirmed, but I've heard this from several places that they're getting paid a lot of money to do this. All right. Thanks for the reposts and the likes on the show on X, y'all. Remember to like up the show wherever you're watching it. Share the show, stuff like that. If you like the show and you want to support the show, go ahead and get on down to the description box and find some of those links. Government pork. I quit eating meat. Find some of the links where you can support the show at. There are many there. All the usuals are there. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Buy Me a Coffee, Ko-Fi, Patreon, Substack. A lot of y'all support the show on a regular basis. You know who you are, and I appreciate you. Y'all is so nice. A disabled Army veteran was detained in Camarillo last week. He told them he was a citizen, didn't matter, held for 3 days, no charges, no phone call, no lawyer, no medical care for exposure to chemical agents. Well, now we know why, because people are getting paid. Which is going to incentivize a lot of abuse. If you're just getting paid, like maybe no questions asked, right? Bringing somebody in, getting paid, per head, not vetted as to, is this person really a criminal? Is this person an immigrant? Is this person, like there must be no standards for who you bring in. I'm assuming because they're rounding up people like willy-nilly. They're rounding up people without like verifying like anything.
The 25-year-old George Rotez reached out to Eyewitness News to tell his side of the story. He says he was wrongfully detained last Thursday while reporting for his security job at Glasshouse Farms. He says he identified himself as a U.S. citizen and an employee of the farm, but the federal agents ignored him. Instead, he says he was pepper sprayed, tear gassed, had his vehicle's windows smashed, and then was dragged at gunpoint. Then he says he was held for 3 days without being charged, without a phone call, without access to legal help, and without medical care for the chemical agents he came into contact with.
He told us, quote, "What happened to me wasn't just a mistake. It was a violation of my civil rights. It was excessive force, and it was a failure of justice. I'm speaking out not just for myself, but for every citizen who could have ended up in my place that day," end quote. We have yet to hear from any federal agencies regarding George's case.
25-year-old George Rotez reached out to Eyewitness News to tell his side of the story. He says he was wrongfully detained last Thursday while reporting for his security job at Glasshouse.
This is not, obviously this is happening all over the place. Sue the administration? Well, you would think there would be lawsuits. You would hope there would be lawsuits. I heard this in passing, but I guess it's true. Here's Trump. Did you guys see the ridiculous thing that Trump was doing at the FIFA Cup, where he was trying to like horn into the pictures, and the players like kind of surrounded him and pushed him back out of the out of the frame because the guy was like, "Okay, get off the stage. Okay, get off the stage," and Trump wouldn't leave the stage. But this is wild. Trump took one of the championship medals meant for the players. He just put it in his pocket. Like what? And the guy's like, okay. Watch this. He just puts it in his pocket, and the guy's like, okay. I'm the president. I could just take this, right? It's so weird. The guy's all, sure. But the video, if you guys seen the video of the players like backing him out of the picture, it's pretty funny. Maybe I can find it. Hold on. It's pretty hilarious because he will not leave the stage. Where is it? Sorry. I'm seeing videos of, but I'm not seeing the one that they like pushed him out of the. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. This is funny. So Trump wouldn't leave the stage. And they like did this move where they pushed them all out of the scene. Watch this. Trump's in the front. Did you see the guy run in and just like block him? And they all like came to the front and pushed him off the stage and pushed him like out of the way. Oh, sorry. You guys can't see it. Okay, now I'm showing it. You guys see this? Here, one more time. They're like, bye. That was pretty smooth. Because he would not leave the stage. Anyways, spent a long time on that. If Trump wasn't evil, he would be a funny guy. He's been known for his, comic timing, and some of the stuff he says is ridiculously funny, but mostly I'm not laughing at his ass right now because this dude is a knucklehead, and yeah, I'm not laughing. Okay. Oh, no, this is wrong. Sorry. Trying to get the right video. Yeah, and this is one of the reasons I'm not laughing. USDA drops rules requiring farmers to record their use of the most toxic pesticides. Pesticide watchdog group says the regulation should be strengthened, not thrown out. And this is happening all over the place. Regulatory agencies are being, gutted even further. Many farmers will no longer have to keep any records of when, where, or how they're using pesticides known to pose the highest risks to human health and the environment after a recent change made by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. On May 12th, the agency rescinded regulations on the books since the 1990s that required farmers to record basic details about their use of pesticides classified as restricted use. Farmers were required to record the chemical's name, date of use, volume, location, and type of crop treated and keep the records for 2 years. But I hate these regulations. We voted for freedom. That's why we voted for Trump. We don't want to write this down. I hate it. The Environmental Protection Agency classifies pesticides as restricted use when they are known to cause serious health and environmental harms when used without following specific precautions outlined on the label. The EPA's current list of RUPs is 45 pages long and includes products containing chemicals such as paraquat, atrazine, and chlorpyrifos, which are linked to health harms like Parkinson's disease and birth defects. Although the USDA required farmers to record the data, neither the USDA nor the EPA collected it from farmers. What good would it do, I guess? And anti-pesticide groups and researchers have long pressed for better records that could be used to assess health and environmental impacts from the chemicals. The records were low-hanging fruit. Although the agency wasn't collecting the data, it was theoretically available. Now that may no longer be true. All right. Casa Mamita chicken and cheese taquitos. What? Massive food recalls in 37 states. Pesticide is suicide. Pesticide is suicide. Well, before we get, there's a couple more stories, but this is some wild, I mean, not unexpected, but still, it's just jaw dropping. Sorry, that was strike that, reverse that. Draw. You don't want to have be draws dropping, jaw dropping. It doesn't want to make you drop your draws. It's to make you drop your draw. Israel is bombing Syria, which is weird because I thought we had like our guy in there. You know, the former most wanted on the terrorist on the most wanted list is, you know, now a respectable leader of a country, and he, you know, came to the White House and everything, visited the House, you know, the Parliament. Anyways, but they're bombing Syria, which is interesting. If not just completely crazed. This is not Gaza. This is not Beirut. This is Damascus. Israel is raining bombs on Syria's capital, targeting civilian neighborhoods and government sites in one of the oldest cities on earth, a city that has stood for over 11,000 years. It's crazy footage.
يا شباب قصف جديد قصف جديد يا شباب قصف جديد مبنى هيئة الأركان خالص قصف جديد يا شباب قصف خذونا بسرعة 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 قصف ثاني دمروه.
But why? China is on their way to help Iran. Is that true? I keep hearing things about China's going to step in there. Why is Israel bombing Syria? Maybe the guy, maybe the terrorist in charge in Syria is just there to hand over the country to Israel eventually in their quest for a greater Israel corridor. It's wild stuff. This is from The Guardian. Israel strikes Syria's defense ministry. But why? I just don't get it. Isn't Syria now like aligned with the West, the US and the UK, and you would think Israel as well? Like why? YouTube won't what? Let you say that you were the Department of Motor Vehicles? You were the Department of Motor Vehicles. Okay. Make Israel even greater again. One person killed, 18 injured, says Syrian officials, as Israel intervenes in clashes between government forces and Druze fighters. Okay, well, I guess maybe that explains a little bit about what's going on. The Israel military struck the Syrian Defense Ministry in Damascus. But why would you? I'm confused. Struck the defense ministry in Damascus twice on Wednesday as it intervened in clashes between the Syrian army and Druze fighters in southern Syria in the country's deadliest violence in months. The strikes collapsed 4 floors of the ministry and ruined its facade. The strikes killed 1 person and injured 18. It's the first time since Israel has targeted Damascus since May. Oh, well, they're right on schedule, I guess, because you got to bomb your neighbors, once a month just to keep them in check. That's how we do. It was the first time. Anyways, a spokesperson for the Israeli military said the strike on the defense ministry had been a message to the Syrian president regarding the events in Suida. What? The Israeli what? This does not make any sense. Assad's not in power anymore. Like, we have a ringer is the president. Why are they bombing? I don't get what's going on. I don't get it. I'm confused. None of this makes sense. The Israeli military struck Syrian tanks on Monday and has continued to conduct dozens of drone strikes on troops, killing some soldiers. Israel said it will not allow the Syrian army to deploy in the south of the country, and it would protect the Druze community from the Damascus government. Many in the Druze community have rebuffed Israel's claim of patronage for fear of being viewed as a foreign proxy. Rightly so. I would, no thanks. Oh, Israel, you want to come protect? No, thank you. I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. No, I don't need your protection, sir. You want me to pay you what? How much money for protection? I'm okay. Okay. Israeli bombing added another complication to an already escalating conflict between Syrian government forces, Bedouin Arab tribes, and Druze fighters. More than 250 people have been killed in 4 days of clashes, according to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. A ceasefire announced on Tuesday broke down in similar circumstances. Clashes pitting mostly Sunni government forces against Druze fighters have prompted fears of a wider sectarian conflict. An attack in March by remnants of the ousted regime of Bashar al-Assad on security forces led to violence in which more than 1,500 people were killed, most of them from the minority Alawite community. Violence is the most serious challenge to Damascus's rule since the coastal massacres and has threatened to further push away everyday Druze from the state. The Druze, a religious minority in Syria and the wider Middle East, make up the majority of the population of Suwaida province in the south of the country. They have been negotiating with the Islamist-led authorities in Damascus since the fall of Assad in an attempt to achieve some form of autonomy. They have yet to reach an agreement that defines their relationship with the new Syrian state. This is complicated. Phosphoric acid or phosphorus. I see what you're saying. I see what you're putting down, Denver. Yeah. Huh. Well, it hasn't really been good for people, in the long run, right? I don't know. This is just weird. Honestly, I think that, and somebody said, like, we're bombing them with U.S. bombs, right? Like, Well, if you aren't confused, I am. It sounds like Israel just wants an excuse to go drop, bombs on whoever it is. You know what I mean? They're like, man, we got to get rid of these. We got to make way for the new shipments, and we got a lot of bombs in the warehouse. We're gonna have to figure out a reason to go drop these things on somebody. What do you think? Today, Lebanon? Spin the wheel, Haim. Who are we gonna drop it on today? Syria sounds good. Damascus, let's go. I mean, I can't keep up, but they just seem to have like a chip on their shoulder for like everyone in the region, right? How about Iran? How about, next they're going to be bombing Egypt. Why? I don't know. Because they have roads and stuff where there's like aid coming in. We don't like that. And we just, I don't know. They're doing something. We got to bomb somebody today. The IRS gave Jeffrey Epstein $112 million last fall. And more. This is a weird story. And thanks, Bella, for putting me on to the fact that his estate was transferring money after he died. But now his estate is getting a tax refund. This is last year of $112 million. Huh. The estate's assets have swelled to $145 million, a probate court filing in the U.S. Virgin Islands shows. Much of that won't make its way to Mr. Epstein's victims. That's because he'll be busy spending it. Under an alias. Jeffrey Epstein's estate includes his former residence in the U.S. Virgin Islands, which sold in 2023 for $60 million to Bill Johnson. Bill Johnson. Yeah, that's it. That's who we sold it to, Bill Johnson. Coincidentally bore a striking resemblance to Jeffrey Epstein, but that was just coincidental. Jeremy Burpstein checking his accounts 20 times a day in Israel to see if that IRS refund cleared yet. $112 million tax refund to the estate of Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, make it make sense. No. I don't know why you want to bring up. He's been dead for a long time. Why do you want to talk about him? Tired of talking about him. Meanwhile, hold on one second. Trump said he was surprised that Powell was appointed. So let's go back to 2017.
As president, there are a few decisions more important than nominating leaders of integrity and good judgment to hold trusted positions in public office. And few of those trusted positions are more important than the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Accordingly, it is my pleasure and my honor to announce my nomination of Jerome Powell to be the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. Congratulations. As president, there
This guy even get in here? It's a mystery to me. Oh. Why are we still talking about that guy? All right, guys. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for being here. Oh, that looks interesting. All right. Well, we'll see if I'll check that out. I'll bite. Is it on the YouTube? Is it on YouTube? What's the channel, yo? All right, guys. I do appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Weaponized news. Okay, that helps. That helps. All right, y'all. That does it for me. I'm going to get out of here. And I will see you tomorrow. Oops. Oops. See you tomorrow at the regular time of 12 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for tuning in. And enjoy the rest of your day. And here comes the bear.
Mm-hmm.